Welcome everybody, this is Miss Lawson and we've reached the last section of our textbook. The last thing that we're going to cover in our class this semester is PowerPoint. And PowerPoint is a fun program because you can create a presentation very quickly and you can make changes very quickly. So it's really easy to do. The first module is how to create a presentation, a blank presentation, a presentation from scratch. And the other two cover more advanced features in PowerPoint. So I'm going to demonstrate module 1, which is where you create a blank presentation. And I'm not going through the textbook exactly the way it is. I'm just going to show you what's featured in the textbook, and I may even feature some things that are in the next chapter. So you click on blank presentation. The first slide of your presentation is always your title slide. That tells your audience what the presentation is about. If you notice on this slide, you see these dotted lines. They're called placeholders, and they are already created on the slides. The only thing you have to do is to click in the placeholder and type. The text will be formatted based on the placeholder. So the title is the main part of this slide. The subtitle goes below it, and if you notice, the letters automatically are smaller. Okay, so the placeholders help you type on your slide without you having to change the size of your font. They do not show up when you actually show your presentation. So you always have a title slide at the beginning. Then the next thing, you're going to create a new slide. And when you click on new slide, you've got 9 different options. When you click on the different options, if you notice the placeholders in the preview, you'll see where the placeholders are on the slide. And so like the comparison slide, you see the title placeholder at the top. You're going to compare 2 things, and it's already set up so that you can type over here for one thing, type over here for another, and it'll adjust the size based on what placeholder you're in. But I'm going to choose the title and content slide to create the second slide. And again, you see the placeholders on the slide. Now, if I click down here to add the text, the bulleted items, or the items are already bulleted. It's already in the program. So I don't have to do anything but type. Now, the content slide allows me to add pictures and tables, charts, videos, just to name a few. So I'm going to insert a picture on this slide. So I'm going to go up to the Insert tab. Now you can insert a picture from your computer, or you can insert an online picture, and I'm going to do that because my computer doesn't have a lot of pictures on there. So I'm going to go online and find a picture. So I'm going to use the birds, and I'm going to choose this bird, even though it doesn't have anything to do with our class. He's very colorful. So the bird shows up on my screen. Now the good thing about by having these placeholders on the slide, I don't have to adjust the picture so that the text wraps around it. I can move my picture anywhere I want to. Whoops. I can move it anywhere I want to, and I don't have to worry about moving it around my text. Now, as I was moving it, I don't know if you noticed these little dotted lines that showed up. They're red. There's one at the top. There's one over here on the far right. There's one at the bottom. So those lines will pop up, and they're called smart guides. Smart guides allow you to line up the items on your slide. So in other words, to line up the bird with the bulleted list, I would use this top I would use the top smart guide right here. If I go up here, now see, I'm way away from those words. I'm actually lining it up more with my CIS. You really want to, you can do it down here, but the smart guides allow you to line it up so that it's exactly with your first bulleted item. Okay. Now you will be using your smart guides a lot in the textbook, so be very careful about it. They will pop up for just a second and then they'll go away. So you have to be really careful. And Sam will take off if you don't correctly use the smart guides. So be watching for those as you're doing your assignments. So I've created 2 slides, and that's the only 2 that I'm going to create. So I want to see what they look like. So to see your slideshow presentation, you click on slideshow. If you want to just see the slide that you're working on to see how it looks, you click on from current slide. If you want to see your whole presentation, you click on from beginning. So here's my presentation, and that's what it looks like as a big as a PowerPoint slide that would show up in your presentation. So that looks good. The only thing is it's kind of dull because it doesn't have a lot of colors in it other than the bird. So they have pre-done designs in PowerPoint. So it's under designs, and these are different themes that you can choose from. And I'm going to pick a theme. Let's see, that one looks pretty good. Might not do well with the colors, but anyway, I'm just going to pick that one just so you can see how it looks like. So this is a theme. I created it under design. You can choose other themes. It's just a matter of what you like. The colors, if you like the colors, if they go well with the information on your screen. I think the bird needs a little bit more color on his screen. So let me pick one. That looks a little better. Okay, that was a little bit better because the bird has something on there. Okay, so I've got my presentation set. I've got a design on it. Now the next thing I want to move to is transitions. Transitions control how you go from one slide to the next. Now what I was doing when I showed you this PowerPoint presentation, I was clicking the mouse button and it just moved from one slide to another, which is fine. But you can also create transitions that are sort of fancy. There's lots of them. There's subtle ones, there's exciting ones, there's dynamic ones. So it's just a matter of choice when you're creating one on your own. I'm going to choose the blinds. Okay, so when the presentation moves from my title slide to the second slide, it's going to look like that. Okay, that one looks okay. I think we'll leave that. Okay, so when you advance from one slide to another, you can click on your mouse or you can set it up on its own timer. So right here on the transition, under the transition tab, if you go over to advance the slide, that means move it from one to another. I'm going to take the check off the mouse click and I'm going to put it on after. So it should move from one slide to another. Let me go to the title slide and do that. It should move from one to the other after, these are seconds. I'm going to put 2 seconds. Okay. Now let's see what it looks like on the presentation. Okay, so that was 2 seconds. I didn't do anything with the mouse. If you're talking to a group, you might need to use the mouse, but if you just set your presentation, if you just want to show it somewhere and you want it to run by itself, that's what you would do. Okay, the next thing that you can do to make your presentation a little more exciting is to use animations. An animation is not how you transition from one slide to another. It's more how the items on your slide come onto the screen. So if I click on my second slide, this is what you're going to see, just that slide. So my animations control the different parts of my slide. The top, this is one part, this is another part. So I'm going to pick some transitions to move from one part to another. So I'm just going to pick I'm going to let the title bounce onto the screen. Okay, then I'm going to work with the bottom part of the PowerPoint presentation. Now, in order to do each one separately, you have to click on what's called the animation pane. And the animation pane will show you over here on the right each item. So this is the one and this is the one. So I want to go down here to my Word, my bulleted list, and I'm going to let's do the font color. So those will change colors as a point of emphasis on your screen. So let's see what we can do with the bird. Let's see, let's make him spin. That might not be real effective, but anyway, these are your animations. So let's look at it from our slideshow. And remember, this slide will advance after 2 seconds. There comes my title, and it's kind of hard to see. Those words are changing colors, and there goes my bird. Okay, now to create these animations, it takes a little bit of time. This is the most time-consuming part of a presentation, is once you create it, add the little extra things to it. So in the first PowerPoint module, you're going to start from scratch and create a PowerPoint presentation from scratch. You're going to use the design button and some transitions and a little bit of animation. In modules 2 and 3 that we'll go over next week are some more advanced features like adding videos and clipping your videos to make them shorter and that kind of thing. So for the assignment for next week, you're going to do module 1 in PowerPoint. You're going to do the entrance ticket first, then you're going to do the textbook project, then you're going to do A and B. And remember, A and B, you're going to have to download the instructions from Sam, or if you can't do that, if you'll email me and let me know, I'll be glad to send you a copy of the file. Okay, I hope you have a good week, and if you have any questions, let me know.